दादू कोंबडा खाते ना? ए दादू कोंबडा खाते ना? ठीक आहे. हो ठीक आहे. गायत्री मोठी आहे ना? गायत्री मुले
ट्युशनच्या शाळेची सर्वांनी आपल्या घरपर्यंत घरपर्यंत काय म्हणते का बाई माझं वेबिनार आहे ना संध्याकाळी.
Request all of you to mute the mics.
नाही त्यांना नाही म्हणते. आम्ही पहिले शिकवत होती. स्टुडंट होती ना मी.
बेटा काय कर तुमचं काम झालं का?
हा माझं हे फक्त 2 वेबिनार आहे. एक 2:30 वाजता.
Excuse me, please mute. And everyone.
आम्हाला बँकेत जायचं आहे ना. हे इथेच बँकेत आहे बँक. हो करतो. हो आज आपलं माहित नाही मीटिंग मध्ये तुमचा आवाज येत आहे.
Good afternoon, everyone. So a warm welcome to all of you to this first episode of Pallikkutam GlobalConnect. So we are having two global experts here today, and this event was conceived so that there are so many areas where the schools and colleges face some issues or challenges. So there are experts who can address those issues in a very frugal manner. And of course, in a very cost-effective and also in a way that helps everybody, the entire stakeholders, including parents, teachers. So this program was conceived in this way. We are thankful to Joseph Tribal, Director of EduFrames, for making this possible, the first event possible. So we'll be having this event possibly every Friday in the afternoon, so that after the classes, everybody will be in a position to join us. So today we'll be looking at the education Edtech innovations and how the learning can be made effective for all stakeholders in education. So to begin with, we'll have Leslie V, who heads the APAC region of Class Technologies. They have already developed so many good products and solutions in the online space for learning. And we can directly hear from him what are the ways by which we can make our learning more, e-learning more effective. And after 20 minutes, we'll have a Q&A. In between, you are free to also put your questions on chat, and we'll have a very interactive session. So I warmly welcome Leslie V for the presentation.
Great. Thank you very much, Sri Kumar. And very good afternoon to everybody. So can I go ahead and share my screen now? Sorry, Sri Kumar. I'm not able to share my screen. I think you need to enable it.
Yeah, we are having some problem with sharing. We'll immediately solve it. So in between, you can start.
Okay, great. So maybe while we wait for the screen sharing to be enabled, let me just give a quick introduction about myself. So as Sri Kumar mentioned, I head the APAC region for Class Technologies. It's a pretty new company. So we are considered a startup, but we have been in existence for about the past 10 months. And already we have released our initial suite of applications that's focused on the synchronous learning space. And already we have acquired quite a large number of customers globally as well. And it's very exciting because we don't only have customers in the education space, but also a lot of corporations who have been looking at bringing their training and development online have also started to use Class. And we just announced the acquisition of Nike globally as a customer of ours. So on top of that, of course, we have several universities as well. And once the screen sharing is enabled, I could actually show you a bit of background. Right, what I plan to do is to cover a couple of slides, give you a bit of background about where Class is basically able to help organizations, whether it's in the teaching or learning space or the training and development space. And then I will actually do a very quick orientation of the actual product to you as well. Okay, maybe I'll just go ahead and share some information before the screen sharing is enabled as well. So I think when we look at the Edtech space and online education, it's something that's not new. Like, a lot of organizations, schools have already embarked on e-learning for the past 2 decades, right? And there have been many big players in the learning management space like Blackboard, Instructure, Canvas, D2L, Moodle that has been around. But I think when COVID basically came into our world, and there are many teachers who had to expedite that transformation to that online classroom, several challenges surfaced. And technology to me is an enablement, right? We all understand that technology is only as good as how people deploy and use it. So it's really a true integration of people, processes, and best practices that enable us to utilize the technology well so that we can meet the objectives that we set out to achieve. So in the transition, there has been several challenges, and many schools and people as well are transitioning at a different rate. So we see that there has been many changes. Like for a start, when we look at e-learning itself or moving on into e-learning, right, we need to look at 2 key things, or there are 2 key benefits that comes with moving to the online environment. So be it a hybrid learning or basically it's a blended learning environment or flipped classroom, there are 2 key areas that we need to look at. One is in terms of how we are redesigning that instruction, and secondly, right, how we are able to individualize that instruction for students. And these are some of the key advantages of moving to that online environment. Research has shown that, so the company does quite a bit of research and work with other companies, research agencies, and so forth. And basically, when you look at e-learning, it is actually helping students increase the retention rate between 25 to 60%, like as compared to traditional learning. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is basically the online instruction gives students a lot more flexibility to learn at their own pace. It also allows you to basically engage students based on their individualized needs. And these are critical factors when you come to engaging learners, because that actually helps in the learning and retention process. Okay, I'm still not able to share my screen.
What is showing there?
It says needs the host to enable. It says host disabled participant sharing.
Can you request from there? Is there a request option? Then we can.
There isn't a request option. So
Because we are not seeing an option for enabling that.
let me see.
Sir, Sri Kumar sir, it is
Yes,
there
yes.
in the share screen. That option is
That option is there, but it is not
on
for
the-
enable.
on that. You click on the right. There is a right arrow, small arrow. Click on that, and a multiple sharing is option is there.
Right arrow. Right arrow. Click
There is a small point. It is
small point. That is not coming.
it is available only for the host. Ask the host. I think Rajagiri Media is the host.
Yes, yes.
Tell him to enable it.
We are not seeing that option there.
You ask the host to enable it. Ask the host member who is hosting the call. You tell them.
Or Sri Kumar, you can make Leslie the host.
Yep. So basically, the host, the one who set up and sent out this meeting invite,
Yeah.
will need to go to the preferences and enable sharing for participants. You can actually right click or click on my name in the participants list and allow me and then make me a co-host under the more. So if you go to my name and if you're the host, you go to my name and you click on the more button. It should review the option to allow you to make me a co-host.
It's not coming.
Rajagiri
Yep.
Media is the host. So you please
yes.
contact them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So they need to click on the participants list,
Yes.
right, and look for my name. So when they go to my name, there will be a mute and there will be a more button. And if they click on the more button, it should allow them to make me a co-host.
Just a bit. Oh, co-hosting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You have been made a host.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I can share now.
Okay, great. Fine.
All right. We are
Yeah.
back in business. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes.
Okay,
So this is a
can
creative
everyone...
solution. Yeah, very creative solution. Okay, great.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So as I was mentioning, basically if we look at going into online learning and using Edtech, right? Schools or organizations need to look at two things, and there are two areas that we look at. One is redesigning instruction, and there is an opportunity for us to redesign the way we are delivering instruction. And there's also the opportunity to individualize that instruction to cater to a personalized learning approach for the students. And really that the benefit of having technologies is that it allows the teacher to scale to personalize instruction for students at a better rate than if they were trying to do it in an in-class environment. And basically what we've been saying is that there does lead to a 25 to 60% increase in terms of retention when you actually move to the online learning. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% online learning. Could be a blended learning approach even. It has several benefits over traditional learning, 100% traditional learning. So really, when we were going through all this transformation over the past 1 year or 1 year plus with COVID, right, there have been institutions that fall into different categories, right? There are schools that are in the revive mode, and these are continuing basically low lift and high return elements of e-learning. So they're trying to elevate the pre-pandemic state. So they're trying to basically address the problems that came up as a result of not being able to have that face-to-face instruction. And what's interesting is that because of COVID, it basically created a need, and people were compelled to move quicker into that. So it accelerated the process of learning. The second thing is that in terms of the redesign, there are several schools that fall into this category, and they are basically already have some form of e-learning in place. But the opportunity to innovate off those proven strategies, right, is something that they were able to exploit during the whole lockdown phases over globally that happened with COVID. And finally, we see schools that are a bit more in the transformative stage. So this are the reimagined group, right, of users. And really, these people are focusing more on the ability to look at how they can further exploit opportunities for personalized learning, right, basically led by students, and also basically look at adaptive virtual learning support and individualized learning paths for each student. So really, what has happened over the past 1 year is that it accelerated all these processes. And I'm sure that amongst you guys, you probably find that some of you fall into the revive, some are in the redesign, and some are in the reimagined stages, right? But with all those users coming on, regardless of which category you fall into, it started to reveal a huge gap in the online learning. And that is especially when teachers are transitioning from a physical classroom to an online environment, right? There is that problem of engagement. So as you know, being teachers, some of you being teachers, when you step into the classroom, you kind of very clearly is able to get that feel of what's happening in the class. But when you come online, it's a lot harder to gauge what the students are thinking. It's harder to identify if students are engaged with your lesson and whether they are actually learning. And that's very important as an outcome. Like if they're not engaged, chances are they're not really learning. So where class comes in is that we saw that gap, and we basically built a platform that allows you to do the things that teachers are very used to doing in a physical classroom. Just simply being able to come to the class and take attendance, look at the students, see who's there, who's not there. And many times we know that students have a very short attention span. So just sharing content continuously is not a really engaging process. But in the physical classroom, it's very easy to share a piece of content, anchor the learning activities around that content. For instance, driving discussions and having group activities around all those content is very easy to do in a physical classroom. But when you move to that virtual classroom, it's a lot harder to do so. So really, we solidified our position by focusing on that part and providing a synchronous learning classroom environment that caters to all those needs. So before I move on to the platform, I just wanted to give you a brief background about Plus. So we do have quite a good team of strategic advisory board members that are working with us. It was started by Michael Chasen, who was also the founder of Blackboard LMS. right? And it's also backed by many of the Zoom board members. So although we are a young company, as I mentioned, we have already acquired quite a large number of customers across the world, not only the corporate space, but also in the higher education and in the K-12 space as well. And the reason for that is, again, as I mentioned, right, Class comes in and fills those gaps. So we provide a lot of teaching, learning functionality, student engagement functionality on top of the Zoom conferencing environment. So we chose to work with Zoom and build on top of Zoom because Zoom has probably one of the best and most robust and reliable audio video conferencing platforms. But where they lack in terms of teaching and learning tools, that's where Plus comes in and complements that very well. So with this, I'm going to stop my slides here. And I'm going to move into the platform. And I'll attempt to do a very quick introduction of it because I know that we already passed the time allocated. So before I just carry on, Sri Kumar, is it okay for me to take another 10 minutes or how do you want to do this?
Yes. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm just going to go in and launch the demo environment, and basically what you will see next, right? This is just a simulation setup, but what you see next is the environment that teachers and students will come into in that synchronous classroom. If they, whether you are invited through a link in an email or you are accessing the class platform as a session within your courses in your learning management system, or maybe you're just sent the link via a chat message, right? So students and teachers who click on that link will all end up in this space over here. So there are some key advantages that I wanted to point out. So I'm just going to go into some of the key benefits to teachers, right? I'm coming in now as an instructor, as a teacher. And really, whether your students have their video feeds on or off, it doesn't really matter in class because we are able to track participation rates, and all these are very important, right? For a teacher coming in, they have the ability to utilize a set of filters here, right? So I can easily filter the views by participation, by feedback, by hand raise, and all these views and indicators that present itself are only available to a teacher. So students will not see this. And the benefits is that, for instance, if I have a group of students who are wanting to ask questions. And we all know that even if you're physically in the class, it's hard to keep track of how many students have their hands raised, how many students have you responded to, and whether you have missed anyone out. But in this case, when I filter by hand raise, you see that all the students with their hand raised are pushed to the top of the screen. And not only that, it's actually shown in order of their hand being raised. So as a teacher, I can very easily go in and respond and lower their hand as I go along, right? And this will ensure that not only do I answer everyone's question, but I answer in the sequence that they raise, such that none of the students will feel left out, none of them will feel as though the teacher is being biased, right? But the other key benefit, as we know, administratively, teachers have a challenge. They want to focus on teaching and learning, but they need to complete some administrative tasks, which is to take attendance and to ensure that the students who are in the class are authorized to be there. So as a teacher, imagine you have a class of 30, 40 students, or even 10 or 15 students. I can easily go in and click on unverified, and right away it shows me who are the students who are not verified. So that allows the teacher to focus on these unverified students. And maybe the situation is that Joe is a new student who just joined the class, the school, and this is his first day in the lesson. I can easily just go to the options here, click on verify, and basically verify Joe. And now Joe is able to interact with the rest of the class. So prior to being verified, he could not interact with the class. So on the other hand, Lilia is somebody I don't recognize, right? I've been teaching this class and I know that there's no new student named Lilia and I've never seen her before. So I'm going to go in and basically click remove and kick her out of the class, right? And as teachers progress with the class and they are teaching their materials, we make it very easy for the teachers to manage the class. They can easily just remove all these users from under the podium. I could move the users to the podium if I wanted, or move them, make them a presenter, or make them a co-host. All these are very easily done in class. But what's important to note here is that for students, they will always see this general view, right? And the benefit of this is that the student will always be able to recognize that the teacher is up here in the instructor podium. If there are any guest speakers, right? So from time to time, you may bring in an expert to talk about a topic that you are teaching. So you could have a guest speaker up here. You could have additional tutors in the class, and they'll all be up here at the front of the class. And if you have third-party cameras, integrated via the Zoom rooms for, let's say, a hybrid class setup, where you would have physically a small group of students in the class, you could have that camera set up as well, right? So students will always be able to maintain context of who is who in the classroom. So this actually reduces the confusion for students. But on the other hand, right, teachers have access to all these additional tools here. So for example, you can have the chats, but you notice that our chats are set up in a manner that is well categorized, unlike in the chats in Zoom. So if I click on the chat here in Zoom, everything is aggregated. It's very confusing. You can't zoom into which student is actually reaching out to you. It's not as easy, but class organizes the chat differently. And not only that, it allows the teacher to set preferences. So let's say if you're conducting a test online, you can actually set up the preference and allow students to only chat with the instructors and no one else, right? But teachers also have access to the class management tools and teaching tools. And teaching tools is where I can easily share content, where I can share syllabus, quizzes. For instance, if I want to play a video and use that as a means of instruction to the students, but I want to anchor my activities around that video, it's very easy for me to do so. I just preload the videos I want to use. I click on launch. It allows me to take control of the playback or give students control of the playback. In this case, I'll take control of the playback, right? And you notice that the video launches natively in class. And this is a huge benefit because it plays at the same rate, right, as what the participants will see. So there is not going to be any lag in that video, right? Which is different if you use a share screen and you play a video and you use a share screen to share the video with other users. So basically, as the teacher plays the video, right, the students can watch the video, but at the same time, while the students are watching the video, a teacher can easily go to the class management and open up attendance and take a quick view of who is present in the class, who is late, who is not yet there. So you see right away, I can see that there's 17 present, 4 absent, and 2 who are late. And I can scroll down and see who are the students who are late as well. So teachers can access this attendance module anytime during the class, right, to just keep track of who is coming in and who is not yet in the class. So if you look at the video, again, as I facilitate and play the video, I can easily pause it and go back to the class and basically, okay, so let's remove this. I can click on the classroom tab here and I can maybe start a discussion. So I may tell the kids, all right, that you have watched 10 minutes of video. Can you tell me what you think is the important point that the video is trying to communicate? And when I do that, I can quickly go and filter by participation. And what shows up here is all these indicators, traffic light indicators that tell me red bars are those that participate below average, yellow are those who participate average, and green are those who participate above average. And this is just specific to talk time. So even if the students had their videos off, you are still able to track their talk time through their audio. And this is very useful insight to a teacher because now I know that these are the guys who are talking a lot, very engaged, and these are the ones who are not. So I can very easily go in and tell Kurt and Penelope here, hey, you guys have been very quiet. Why don't you share with the class what you think? And, we allowed some gamification as well. If let's say Penelope contributed well, a teacher could easily go in and award some gold stars. So maybe I award Penelope 2 stars and I say, great job, keep it up. I hope to hear more from you in the future, right? And because we track these stars not only within this session, but also throughout the whole term or semester, the teacher could easily encourage competition, healthy competition, right? Not just based on results or scores, but let the students know at the end of the term, the top 2 students who get the most stars, right? I'm going to give you each a Starbucks gift card, for example. So some form of healthy competition that can be easily encouraged So some form of gamification over there, right? And I think we are running out of time. So I just want to show you one last thing. And that is the teacher at any point in time is also able to easily go to what we have here in terms of a dashboard. And you can view statistics and data that we collected from all the classes. So if I go and click on view students detail, you'll see that it will pull up the list of students and it will show you all the data that we capture around each student. So let's take James Lloyd as an example, right? You see that he's present in today's class. He is not late. This is his time in, time out. For the whole semester or term, he has 0 absences, so that's good. His participation is not very good for the session as well as for the whole semester. He has very good focus. The number of times he's raised his hands, given feedback, the number of stars he's collected, the number of chats that he's initiated to the teacher, to the class group, as well as personal chats. So we track all this data, and it's very useful information that is available at the teacher's fingertips so that they can drive the synchronous class activities more effectively. And even if you're looking at a blended learning environment, right? After they have had this live synchronous learning session, and if they have some face-to-face sessions, all this data are useful for the teachers as they also engage the students in the face-to-face class, right? Because right away, the teachers know that these are the students' behavior. So in a face-to-face class, likely these are the same students who are going to be very quiet, and I can intervene. I know who are the ones I need to reach out to. So I apologize that I've been rushing through it because I don't want to take up too much time. So that's it at this moment. Usually I spend an hour going through the platform because there's a lot of things that I can show, but right now I'll stop here. All right, back to you, Sri Kumar.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lee, for that very interesting presentation. And we look forward to some interaction before we can go to Pankaj.
Okay.
Anybody has questions?
I think a couple of people raised their hands.
Yes. Yes, yes, you want to start first?
Anyone has any questions?
Any questions for?
Hi, Leslie.
Yep, hi.
Yeah, hi, Leslie. Would you be providing a demo to the respective schools who are interested to have a detailed look at how class would benefit them?
Yep, sure. Yeah, please do reach out to Joseph. Right, hey, Joseph, sorry. Yeah, that's you. Yeah. So I guess schools who are interested can reach out to you directly, and then I'll be happy to work with you to arrange any meetings and demos.
Great.
I think Joseph can share your email ID and also phone number here, so that
sure.
And we'll also be mailing the details to all the participants who have registered.
Yeah, and some of them have asked for the PowerPoint to be shared, Leslie, because that some of the participants have asked to share the PPT so that you can send across to me and we can share it with the teachers so that they can have a detailed look about how this would benefit.
Okay, sure. Then I'll make a copy available to you.
Yeah. That's great, Leslie. So that was a really nice presentation, Leslie.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sri, can you let Pankaj in? Pankaj was messaging me that he is unable to.
Yeah, Leslie, we is in now the host, so he has to
Okay.
actually.
Oh, can you let Pankaj in from because you have been made the host. Pankaj is there in the waiting room.
Okay. Yeah. So I've let Pankaj in. Should I make him the host now?
Yeah, please.
Yes,
do
yes,
that.
yes.
All right. Pankaj is the host now.
Fantastic. Next time we should do this on class itself, Leslie, so that yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
that everyone can really get that feel of how class will benefit.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to plan that ahead and get everyone to download the platform, the application.
Yeah. Great.
So warm welcome to Pankaj Agarwal, Tag Hive. So you have been with Samsung for a very long time, and we have already shared your details to the participants. So I'm not going further going into the details of your careers and achievement. So we'll start off straight away about how we can make the online learning more effective, and after that we can have the QA and all. So we'll start right off. So a warm welcome to Pankaj Agarwal.
Thank you, Sri Kumarji.
Yes.
It's really awesome to be here. I've met Joseph and Leslie before, and I think what they built is also amazing. And everybody is trying their bit to contribute in these times of pandemic where learning has stopped, and we are all trying to create our own unique ways to make learning more effective, make teaching more efficient. And in our bit, we have made Class Sathi, which is a tool or a platform that can really combine teachers, administrators, principals, and students into one thread and make sure that the students' learning is monitored. Students feel that they are learning every day and they get the personalized attention of learning. And I have a brief presentation that I'll share with you to just give you some visuals and help you better understand. From my team at Tag Hive, we have a couple of people who have joined us here. Meher and Priyanka are two. The whole idea of this presentation is to, of course, let you know what we are doing. And we would love to work with schools, work with partners to see how we can spread the word. And, post this presentation, the next steps would be pretty much reaching out to us to see how we can help make your school smart. And in that spirit, I'll just get started. And if you have any questions, you can pause me anytime in the presentation. Happy to take any questions. And without any ado, I'll just get started right away. So good. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great.
Go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll just, there are too many windows open here. Okay, great. So I'll just get started right away. So the whole idea behind Class Sathi is to really make the student and teachers engagement more powerful. And the product we made is Class Sathi, and Sathi, as we all know, it's companion. So what we're doing here is trying to build a companion for teachers, companion for students, companion for all the stakeholders pretty much, right? And just bear with me when I'm speaking a little bit slowly or navigating here and there, because I'm also letting in people as we are speaking. People who are joining, and I'm the host, so I have to let people in. So please bear with me on that. Oh man, people are joining, which is great, but also sounds good. So let's just move on. So India AI, which is a NASSCOM initiative, tagged us as one of the top 5 startups in India that is reinventing education with AI. And we're really proud to have this honor, and it means a lot because it was completely organic. We didn't even know India AI at all. And they came to us and they said, hey, what you're doing is really amazing. Because what we are doing here, we are not only targeting private schools, but also public schools. And trying to really show that our technology is powerful enough to address areas where connectivity is low, where the accountability is missing, and hence they like our product. So we really are targeting at all the 1.5 million schools in India, 1 million government schools and 500,000 of private schools. My journey, I know it's fair that I give my introduction because people may not be aware. I'm sure Sri Kumarji has done his job in giving a brief introduction, but still I thought of highlighting a couple of points here, meaning that I come from a small village in India, in Bihar. And from there on, I went to St. Xavier's, Sahibganj, again in Bihar, now in Jharkhand, and went to Delhi Public School, Arkepuram, then to IIT Kanpur, then came to South Korea. And right now I'm in South Korea and did my master's from there, worked at Samsung for close to 10 years, and in between did an MBA from Harvard Business School. And the reason I'm showing this journey is because, I was from a very normal family. My grandfather, if I can say, his income was below the national income at that time. A very poor family, but still he was bent on having all the grandkids educated, all his kids educated. And that is what led us to really unleash our potential. And I really thank the vision that he had for us. And in my journey throughout the different schools that I have been to, I've realized that education is really the agent that can make lives amazing. And I studied technology, so I realized that technology can be a great multiplier in terms of how education can be delivered. And hence, combining these two ideas of the power of education and the power of technology in enabling a better education is what led to Class Sathi. But before I talk about Class Sathi, a couple of highlights. I think also Leslie touched upon these points earlier, that because of the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. Most of us went online, and most of the interactions with students are happening online here. But the challenge that the teachers are facing is that they are not able to control the classes in a way that they want to. They are losing control. Students are feeling that they are less engaged, and there is no proper data that comes out, of online classrooms that really shows how well the class was in, of course, we have some exam data and all that, but on a daily basis, when the students are learning on an online classroom, are we sure that they are engaged? Are we sure that the students are not doing anything else besides just focusing in the classroom, right? So how do we really, is there a question? Yeah. How do we make sure that the students are engaged in this online world and really engaged, and teachers are also, feeling that they are empowered with technology? So what we have built has 3 components. One is for the teachers, one is for the students, and one is for the principals. So for the teachers, what they can do, again, this is all text. I'll just briefly tell you, and I'll give you a demo as well. Through the videos here. Teachers can really simulate a classroom experience, and they can conduct live quizzes. They can give homeworks. They can monitor the students' learning on a daily basis. Students can come to our system and they can learn as if there's a personalized tutor for them. They don't have to have a tutor in person. They can use our application and really feel that they have a personalized tutor, and they can monitor their weaker areas and improve on them. And principals have this amazing dashboard where they can monitor the students' performance, teachers' performance, and make sure that the learning is happening. And the principals can also use that data point to interact with their parents. Now, the real magic starts right now. So as you can see on the screen here, on a teacher app, there's a functionality where the teachers can give homework. They can select any chapter. On our app, we have content for students from class 6 to class 10, maths and science. They can choose any topic they want. They can also choose difficulty levels. And once they do that, they can, right away, they can they can choose a question set, like 5 questions or 10 questions. They can see the preview. And if they don't like a question, they can go back and select that question and replace that question with another question. Now here the beauty is teachers don't have to create their own questions. While they can, but the whole idea is we give them enough tools and enough choices that they are able to be happy with that choice. And once teachers are given the homework, they can also monitor how many students have done the homework and how many have not. Even those students who have done it, how well they have done it, what questions they got right, what questions they got wrong. So this way the teachers can have a very good feel of what the performance of the students are. Imagine a class, an online class. They can ask the students that, hey, we have given you a homework. We've given you a homework. Before the class starts, complete the homework. Or after the class is over, they can give a homework on that topic and ask the students to really do that. The beautiful piece is that the teachers don't have to spend much time in giving away homeworks. In less than a minute, they can give away homeworks. And also, once they have received the completed homeworks from the students, they don't have to spend time to correct them. Our app corrects them automatically and lets the teachers know the rank of the students, which students have done good, and what skill areas, what chapter areas are weak and strong is also what is easily visible through our system. So that way teachers really feel empowered. Now, if I'm a teacher, I will use this application to give homeworks, and then I can understand what the weak areas of the students are or what the weak areas of the entire class is, and then focus on those topics more, right? That is where the power is given to the teacher through technology. The other piece of our app is that teachers can also conduct live quizzes. They teach in online class like this, like we are having an online session right now. What if we could do a live quiz right now? Again, we have polls on Zoom. We have polls on other applications, but those polls are one-off things, But here, teachers can conduct quizzes in live, and the students can solve those questions. And then teachers can, after every question, the teachers can stop the quiz and interact this class. Oh, why do you think you answered A? And also all the data is stored in the system so that teachers can look at it again later on. And students can also see this data once the quiz is over, and then they can compare what went wrong, what went right? So this way, if the students are not engaged in the class, like if it's an online class like this, all the students will be on their toes because they never know when the teacher can ask for a live quiz and they have to solve the questions correctly, right? So that way, the teachers feel under more of control in the classroom. And also, on the student side, we have some wonderful kids. So on the teacher side, what is also happening is that on the student side, we have, but before I go further, I just want to tell a few things. This application that we have built is for students for class 6 to class 10, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. And all the questions that we have are matched to the CBSE and CRT curriculum. We have around 25,000 questions, all made by IITians. And why I say that is meaningful is because the question quality is really good. All these questions that have been created have been really, we have really spent a lot of time to create those questions, to curate those questions, and to polish them on a regular basis. There are mock tests on the app. There are analytics. Students can do homeworks remotely. They can do live quiz also. Now, this is a small video that you can see here that really walks you through the different features of the app. For example, they can do homework that the teacher gave them. They can see the due date and they can start doing the homework. They can solve all the 5 questions, that the teacher has given them and see their score. And each question has a tag of chapter tag, the skill tag, there's a difficulty tag as well, how difficult the questions are. And they can see their score, they can review them if they want, they can go back, they can see that this homework was done, they can come back to the main page, and they can look at all the chapters. For each and every chapter, we have over 200 questions. And they can start solving a question. There are mid-reports that come out. The students can really feel that they are getting personalized attention because these questions are all matched to their levels. So once our app knows what the level of a student is, then the questions that they will see are going to be matched to their levels. Also, they can review the questions that they have solved. They can filter out what questions they solved incorrectly and focus on those questions so that they can save their revision time. They can also revise concepts. If they want to revise a concept, there's also a small concept card for each question. They can go to the report section. They can see how many questions they have played, what is the average score, what are the weaker areas, as it says here, focus on these skills. They can also go to the school part, and the school part is more about what they did in the school, what teachers have asked them in the classroom, what was their performance, what was the class average, and all of that. They can see their badges if they want, bunch of things here. And just to give you some number, around 30 lakh questions have been solved on our platform to date. We are just a year-old application, and we have seen that 30 lakh questions have been solved, and every day around 15,000 questions are solved. Really powerful, and I'll show you a snapshot in a moment where you can see the live sort of real-time view of the map view of the Class Sathi usage. And this app is available on Google Play. Anybody can type Class Sathi and search the app. For the students, the app is completely free. For the teachers and the principal, there is a package that we provide, but we can offer free trials if you want. There's also a web app application for users who have iPhone. And also teachers, there's one more function here. Teachers can also monitor, besides the homework functionality, besides the live quiz functionality, teachers can also monitor the performance of each student. You know, they can see which student has performed good, very good, bad. They can see the graphs. They can also see the attendance. They can see how many questions to solve today as a class by each student. They can go to each student and they can ask, you know, what happened to that student. They can also see what are the strong and weak skills of the class overall and focus on those topics in their classes, basically, right? For each student, they can see the data. They can choose the student like this, and they can see more details about that student right away. Okay. And hold on, just one second. Yeah. For the principals, what happens is there is a dashboard, and I'll show you a dashboard, you know, which is in active form through my web browser. But just to let you know, this principal feature or principal's ability to manage the teachers, to give them access to new subjects, to new classes, and to really see how the performance is across different subjects, across different chapters in that subject, across different classes. It really makes the principal's job much easy to monitor. Let me share with you, you know, a screen here. By the way, this is the real-time usage of Class Sathi I was talking to you about, right? As you can see, all over India right now, it's being used. And right now, I think it's a class time, so students are not so active on the Class Sathi app, but we see, you know, all across the country, sometimes also in the neighboring countries, the students are using Class Sathi. Now, talking about the principal dashboard from where we came from the presentation, this is how the principal's dashboard look like. You can see they can choose the class. So right now we chose class 9. They can choose subjects. For example, let's choose maths right now, okay? So in maths, we see that there are 56 students. Let's see the numbers, 48 students who have tried our math questions in that class. Around 2,000 questions have been solved. The average score was so much and average study time was so much, right? Also, you can see the top 5 students. So imagine when you interact with the principal, as a principal, if you interact with the parents, how wonderful it will be to, you know, show this data to the parents and say, see your kid, he's doing such an amazing job. You can actually view all the students here. You can view all the students, and you can click on one of the students and you can see a data like this. You know, for this student particularly, Rayan Das, you can see that the chapters that this student has attempted and how many questions they have solved and what they solved correctly and what they solved incorrectly, right? So imagine the power of discussions. Imagine the parents' engagement. As a father, I would be like blown away. I would say, wow, you show me details that I'm looking for, right? Here, all these questions. And they can say, oh, your kid is doing great, but he is not doing good in these things, perhaps. You know, then you can really recommend the child to study more on particular topics. You can see, you know, what areas he's weak. For example, fiber to fabric is a weaker skill here, but that kid has only solved 3 questions. So maybe he should solve more questions to really get a good feel of the topic. Here, coming back to the dashboard again, you can also see chapter-wise performance. Like this chapter number 1, 45 students have attempted the questions, right? Out of 48. And you can see which, within this chapter, there are subtopics or sub-skills, right? What are the, for example, this law of exponents for real numbers is a weaker topic. So that way you, as as a administrator, as a parent, or as a principal, can get a very good feel of what the weaker areas are, what the focus should be. You can also ask the teachers, oh, why don't we have any students who have solved questions on this one and this one, right? That way, everybody becomes more accountable, and they really want that the students, across all the subjects are doing great, and teachers spend enough time by looking at this data and really help the students study better. Now, I'll move back to the presentation. Just give me 1 second. So this is the dashboard that I showed you here, right? So imagine the power that you can really unleash in your communication with your parent stakeholders. And I thought of putting this slide just to kind of highlight the brands that we bring along with our product. One is that we are a South Korean technology company. We are sponsored by Samsung. Samsung is our funder. And I'm an IIT Kanpur graduate. So, all these brands come along, and why I'm showing you this is also because just to highlight the point that we're going to be in this game for long. We'll not just kind of come and go away. I've spent 4 years building this company. We have a great team now, and we really want to focus on a better learning, a better teaching. And what we have done with Class Sathi so far is just the beginning of our journey. There is a lot more things to do. We're building a lot more features, a lot more intelligence. And we have received a lot of ideas on what more we can do. We're doing that. And we look forward to your support, look forward to your participation in our journey. And we can promise you that your school will become smarter with our Class Sathi school package. We can promise you that our solution will enable the teachers to teach better. Will make the students feel that they are more empowered with more tools to really score more in their exams, feel more confident about their studies, and also give parents the confidence that the schools should be giving them, and really make them feel that they are in the best hands. Their students are in the best hands as far as education is concerned. So on that note, I'll pause my presentation, and I will be happy to answer any questions that the group may have. It was a little bit quick presentation, but I went through different areas, maybe in a rushed manner. But I'm happy to take any questions, explain things in detail wherever required. I see a few topics here, a few points. So thank you so much for your comments. But really, the real power will be unleashed when the students are using it. So looking forward to that happening. Any questions, sir, ma'am?
Hi, Pankaj, Joseph here.
Yes, Joseph.
Yeah, Pankaj, what will be the process if a school want to implement Tag Hive? So what is the process they have to follow?
Great question, Joseph. And they would have to write to us. We'll leave the contact details here. I'm leaving it on the chat box, so they can write to us and we can onboard them. So the process, once we hear from the schools, is very simple. We will we have an Excel template where we collect data for the teachers and the principals, so that the names and the classes that they teach will help them create their classes. And we will have a small orientation session where they can really understand the app better and really feel that they are experts now. And from there on, it's all their own. So there is it's very simple app, simple to use app. The learning curve is very, very smooth. So I think the first step, again, to your question, would be to write to us on this email address that I've shared here, sathi@tag-hive.com, with the subject title of interested in Class Sathi, and we will get back.
Great. Thank you.
So Pankaj, this service is provided free for the students.
Yes, right now, if the students want to use it at home, the app is completely free. They can download on the Play Store and just use it. But if the teachers and principals want to see the dashboard and they want to give homeworks and live quizzes, which incur a lot of cost for us, these features. So for that, there's a small fee. So, we give the entire package to the school at a nominal price of 50 rupees per student per month. And 50 rupees per student per month is the price for the entire package, where they get the teacher app, student, the parent, the principal app, the dashboard, and all the hand-holding support. And also we offer a 2 months of free trial. So teachers, schools that they want to use us, they can try it before they buy it. They can try for 2 months, see the value is there. If they don't like it, they can say, thank you so much, sir, we didn't like it. So, we really want to have the schools try our product before they start putting their monetary resources into it. So there'll be 2 months of free trial from our side.
Any other questions from the participants? So right now we have solutions only for the 6th to 10th standard, is it?
Correct, sir. And only for maths and science right now, because those are the two other subjects which are very, which need a lot of practice. Of course, other subjects do need practice too, but these subjects need more practice. And for preparing for engineering exams or medical exams, you need a solid sort of foundation in these two subjects. Hence, we are focusing on those right now, but that said, we'll expand to other topics going forward.
So right now, only the cognitive skills are tested, not the other kind of skills of the learner.
I think so. Cognitive is very direct sort of skill that we test. Also, because it's a self-learning app, what we also kind of say that students make a lot of choices in our app, like what kind of test they want to do. So there is some sort of flexibility, and that helps them really make good decisions also. So also, because our app enables live quiz functionality, talking about 21st century skills of collaboration, the teachers can use that to really help the students collaborate within them amongst themselves, right? So of course, cognitive is very direct skill that we test, which any sort of education application or material we test on. But beyond that, there are features in the app that allow the students to test other abilities as well.
Pankaj, one question I have is that like you are supporting government schools across some of the states in India, right?
Correct.
So if a large pool of schools want to join or use TagHive, like so that they can have a common dashboard of how their individual schools perform, is that possible? So what would be the dashboard would be like, and what analytics they could draw from that?
So we did that dashboard creation for our for the MP schools, the Madhya Pradesh schools. So we definitely have that feature. If they want to see the data for each school, for example, right? So we have that feature. Definitely we can share that too. So that's also possible to your question, Joseph.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good to see some principals from St. Xavier School. I studied in St. Xavier, so it feels so much, it feels like home. But of course, I also studied in DPS. DPS also like, when I see DPS, I feel like at home. So I have shared the link for the app here. This is, by the way, this is just for the Android users. Let me share with you an application link for perhaps the iOS users too. But the whole point is, I think I would, if I'm a teacher or a principal, I would let all my students actually try it once, because they will really feel that they have got this amazing resource that, they can use now to learn and increase their abilities in maths and science. A question came about, do we have computer skills? So, sir, is it okay if I respond here? I'll just, in the interest of the wider audience, in our app, we don't have the computer skills question. we are focusing only on maths and science, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I want to ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, in that the students, for the side of the students, the app is there. So can a student review his reports and stuff like that?
Yes, ma'am. Students can definitely review their all their reports, like everything that they do on the app, from questions that they solve correctly, incorrectly, to what is the average score, what are the weak skills, mid reports, their mock test scores, their homework scores, homework updates, daily contest, everything that they do, they can see all of that, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And we are just following CBSE syllabus right now. ICSE syllabus is not on the system right now. We really want to also bifurcate, and we will do that at some point. But right now, we just have CBSE syllabus. I'm really, I hope that we did it faster, but it takes some time to really create good content. So we are waiting till we find good quality ICSE content on our app. But until then, we will have to live with CBSE content.
Sir, really will this help to the ICSE students also, the CBSE content which has been provided in the app?
I agree, ma'am. I studied in ICSE board until class 10th and studied in CBSE board in my 11th and 12th. So what I realized was that CBSE, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I may be completely wrong because the times have passed, but I think CBSE maths is tougher than ICSE maths. So I think if students are able to solve the CBSE maths questions correctly, the confidence will really go up in ICSE questions as well. And there is, in terms of syllabus, you are so right. There's a lot of overlap between CBSE and ICSE anyway. So maybe if a topic in class 6 is in class 7 or something like that. But in terms of content spread, I think it would be 80% overlap. So we can really take advantage of that. And students don't have to, if ICSE student wants to use our app, they don't have to solve all the chapters. They can focus on chapters that are there only, so that they don't get confused with what we have besides what they study in the classrooms in that class.
Any other questions from the audience?
I want to share one direct link to everybody. Just give me 1 second. I'm not able to find. So Rachit, are you online here? If you are, maybe you can share your link. Okay, hold on. I got it. I got the link. So I'll share that link with everybody. Just give me 1 second. So I'm sharing a link that you can share with your community of students and teachers, and they can try the app even on an iOS device by clicking on this link. For schools that want to work with us, we would be looking forward to hear from you. Just drop us an email, just one-liner saying that interested, and we will get back to you with the next steps. If you can leave your phone number and contact details, like an email. I mean, of course, with an email, we can reach out directly anyway. Just the contact number and your name, it will be really helpful for us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I already see 2 emails coming in to Sathi. So thank you so much. Looking forward to. Okay, I see people responding to me privately with their email address. So we will assume that you are interested, and we'll send you the details right away. Thank you so much. So if you want to just drop an email that your email address, please drop that here so that we will know that you are interested, and we will get back to you right away after the call is over with more details.
I think more people are interested in having a demo and other kind of simulation or whatever. So I think you can take it forward that way. But generally, what I would like to ask is what are the challenges that you have faced in launching this this application, and how have you've been able to address all those issues?
I think for us, it has been very sort of organic, meaning that we started with the student app first, and we built something that we hope that students will use. But students have a lot of competing choices. They have to choose amongst different tools to study. So while we are providing a great service, students really had to make a decision on whether this is right or wrong. So we thought of adding teachers into our platform. And once we have teachers now, and teachers see and they say, wow, this is such a great application. And we really found that the teachers have been very helpful to spread the word and to let the students make a right choice. And also in terms of challenges, I think, we have been getting requests from different stakeholders to add more subjects, and we have not been able to do it very fast because creating content really takes a lot of time. We've done a great job with maths and science so far for class 6 to 10, and we want to really take it slowly. Unlike most companies which want to move very, very fast, our approach is to move very, very slow because education is a very serious matter. It's like, I always think about it like this. If you build a road and break the roads can be built again. But if you play with a child's future, that can never be built again. So you be very, very careful in what we are proposing as a technology provider. We don't want to push the product because it is talking about, it's kind of directly relevant to students' future, child's future. We want to take baby steps. Our focus is on providing students with tools, teachers with tools that help them to learn better, to teach more effectively. And we really want to collect more and more feedback before pushing our own ideas. So we received a lot of ideas. For example, teachers asking us to add live quiz functionality. Teachers have also asked us to add exam features in the app, like they should be able to do tests on the app. So we are building that too. That will be out soon as well. So, our team of 12 in Korea and in India are day and night thinking about what features to add, what more to improve, and we're doing that. And we only plan to expand our team further. So what I'm trying to say here is that we have an intent to create a product that students and teachers and principals and parents will fall in love with. And so while we don't have content for certain topics, certain subjects, certain classes, please bear with us. We want to focus on this segment first, correct it, make the right product. And then also in parallel, find content providers for other topics and add those things. So please be a little bit more patient with us, and really want to make sure that we don't play with the child's future and focus on areas or topics that are going to be helpful to them.
I think one feature that I noticed is that you are continuously monitoring the progress of the child, isn't it? His strength and weakness. And then you are actually putting only questions that they can do at that skill level. I think that is
Correct.
something.
Yes, that is true, sir. And, we have a lot of features that are coming up in terms of intelligence. For example, we are trying to build a feature where you will have a pacemaker. You will have a virtual, I'm trying to pretty much build the product in the way I studied when I was a student. So when I was a student, I'm not kind of bragging about myself, but I used to be a good student. So I always felt I need competition. I need somebody else beside me whom I can compete against, but it was difficult to find that. So I really made a virtual competitor at that point in time. I remember that. I used to have a clone of mine sitting beside me and studying, right? That was what I imagined all the time, and compete against my clone. So likewise, we are building a virtual pacemaker on the system. That will be coming out soon as well, where students can compare their studies, their levels, not with other students, but with themselves and their best self. So that way they don't feel under pressure per se. They just feel motivated and inspired to catch up with that virtual pacemaker that they have, and basically catch up with that Sathi that is going to be in the system. So building that, and also trying to build more of more interesting stuff. But these things take time, and we really want to validate our ideas with few small groups and then roll it out to the bigger audience. So doing all of that takes some time, and we are in our process to achieve that.
Great, Pankaj. In fact, Rajagiri Media Trust is have been thinking about a lot of these initiatives which can really impact the students and the teaching methodology. And Sri Kumar is doing a wonderful job of bringing together experts in education field to have that idea sharing to evolve better products. So your inputs about having a cost-effective solution is something Sri Kumar and I discussed, and this well aligned with his thinking and the Rajagiri Media Trust like initiatives, right, Sri?
In fact, our next, we also have a program called Rajagiri Roundtable, and the next event is on 14th, where we'll be discussing about the use of gamification in education. I think, Pankaj, you will also be looking at having gaming in your, this, isn't it?
I think we want to really limit the gaming. We want to really define the way gaming is used in education. So we have badges. When students perform well, we give them badges, applauds and all that. I really want to be careful in not creating gamified elements too much, because it limits, because education is serious business. You don't want to really make it light and always try to reinforce positive elements, right? I think they need to study, students need to study seriously, sitting down and really keeping the focus on. They're already playing so many games, so why add more games here? But that said, it's important to inspire, motivate them to collect points or see other students and get inspired. So we really want to include only certain elements of gaming, for example, leaderboard and few badges which are meaningful, but not really, game, because that really defeats the purpose of learning, as far as I see. Because then they only focus, they try to game the system, right? They say, oh, I'll get more points if I do this, which is not the whole point here. But we'll see. I think, Sri Kumar, it's a very complex subject. We just want to wait before we, as I told you, it's a very serious business, education. We don't want to play with the child's future. So we really want to be very, very careful in what we add, how we add, and then make a choice.
Actually, we are going to explore that topic in the next event on 14th. We have this Rajagiri Roundtable 73rd event.
Okay.
So we are inviting gamification experts to explore that topic further. Whether it is too much, whether it is too much hype, or there is so much problem solving and other skills that is gained through gamification. So those are the
perhaps.
Yes. And also, the last event was on phygital learning. Phygital architecture for the schools, and that is now being discussed, because we need a blended form of learning from physical to digital. And
yes.
So we had a discussion on that in the 72nd Rajagiri Roundtable. And I think these are the elements that are going to be in the future schools, where we'll have a mix of digital and the phygital. So which we want to focus more. That is the bigger issue now, I think. And many people felt that too much digital will be doing more harm than good for the children. So we had a mix of views on that.
Well, this is great. I'm happy to, I see, like, I have received 5 emails on my chat box here privately, and there are a few emails that have come. So please reach out to us in case you have an interest to work with us. We'll give you more details, and hope that your students love it. And please share the link that I have shared with you here with your student community, so that they really feel, again, you can ask a few students before you reach out to us that, does the app really help you, right? And we would love to hear your thoughts, because if it does not help them, we are doing a bad job.
So I think we can come to a conclusion of this. Actually, we had two good presentations today. One was by Leslie V, who heads the APAC region in class technologies. And actually, a lot of people were immediately interested in seeing a demo. So that shows that people want to know how it really works, rather than a very short presentation. But this was not intended to be a very long demo or presentation. This is only to create that interest, stimulate that interest in the teachers and this other stakeholders, including parents. So I think that part was achieved, and both of you, Pankaj Agarwal and Leslie, we did a very good job. And this is the inaugural program, and despite the initial technical hiccups and all, that is all solved. And again, it is out of our innovative mind that we are able to immediately come to a solution on that. So we look forward to more such interactions in the future with more experts from across the globe. So this is called the Pallikkutam GlobalConnect, and this is the first inaugural event, and we are thankful to both of you, Pankaj and also Leslie, and also to all the participants who made this a success. So thank you all.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So you can end it there. I think you are the host.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll end the session. And thank you so much before I end it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks.
good day. Bye.